How's it going, Amy?
Good. How are you? Been a while.
Yeah, I know, chilling, chilling.
Yeah. I would say, what have you been up to? But I have seen what you've been up to. You've been
Yeah,
fighting.
yeah, it's fighting here and there. Whoever will have me, I've just been doing it,
Yeah. So you have a fight coming up. Can you talk to me a little bit about that? What do you know about your opponent, and what are you kind of expecting from him?
Honestly, I mean, I know big dude, obviously. Clearly not a coward. I mean, he accepted the fight. Know he's from the UK, 2-0, bare knuckle boxing. What I've seen, I mean, he's got fast hands, decent footwork, but I mean, he's never fought anyone on my level. Like, I think that's obvious, and he's bigger than me, which is a first. But I had a pretty bad injury this past year, so I couldn't really train for a really long time. So I gained some weight, losing it back. Like normally unchecked, I walk around 315, 320. But I don't know, looking to be probably around 300, maybe 310 tops for this fight. I know I'm taller than he is, so the reach will play a role. And I know he's got a traditional wrestling, or sorry, boxing background. But all that being said, I mean, bare knuckle is very different than traditional boxing. You can do a lot more with clinches and things like that. With my reach advantage and I think I have the power advantage too. I just think I'm generally more athletic than he is. So as I mean, I'm expecting a dogfight, and bare knuckle, there's no easy fights, and it's always going to be violent. It's always going to be vicious. I mean, I won my last fight, and my face was swollen for a week. Surprised I didn't break my hands, honestly, because it hurt to type for a while after that, which is rough being a teacher, but
Yeah.
we figured it out. So I'm just excited for the opportunity, man. I'm at a point in my career where I just love violence. I love fighting. I love the art, the passion, everything, and I love that it brings the best out of me. And even if I'm not at my best, I have to give my best that night, whatever that looks like.
Are you kind of excited to see what it feels like to fight at this weight?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel I lose a little bit of performance cutting down to 265. I really think that my best weight is about between 285 and 295 is really when I'm my most athletic. When I've always felt my best, that's when I'm still strong, I'm still powerful. And I'm lighter, so I have more speed, but I also have the energy to maintain that speed. I just look at it in my day-to-day activities, being able to, dunk a basketball, doing things like that. Like that stuff comes easiest to me at, the 285, 295 range.
So have you had to do any kind of something different for training, knowing that you're going to be in a triangle shaped ring rather than the traditional square or the cage that you're used to? Is that something that's kind of played into your mind at all?
Nah. I just if we get into one of those corners, it just becomes more of a dog fight. But all I think about, man, is punching somebody and getting punched. That's all I really think about when I'm doing it. Yeah, angles are going to be a little harder to cut. It's 11 feet each way. You're sacrificing a lot of area when you do that. Being a teacher, I have to, I'm very aware of the spatial differences, but at the same time, I'm not thinking of running away, so all I'm thinking is, oh, he has less space to run also. And that means it's going to be action packed. And one of us gets in that corner, you're going to see a lot of blood.
Have you been inside the Trigon yet, or is that something you haven't you're gonna have to do like fight
Yeah,
week?
when they came out here, I went around, I moved around in it a little bit. It was small,
Yeah.
but it's less than two of me, like
Yeah.
that's new. But in terms of like doing a workout in it, no, I haven't been able to do that. I'm hoping to do that when I go up there. I'm taking off from work that Friday. I'm driving up there Thursday night and should have a lot of fun going. And I'm hoping that they'll have it set up so I can go in there and check it out. But if not, man, it's just something that I'll adjust to. I'm pretty good at adjusting on the fly during fights. And if I don't, man, it's fun. I really do love fighting.
Yeah. Have any of your students come to watch you fight?
No. Last year, some of my middle schoolers came when I did the BKFC. Switched schools. I'm teaching at a high school now. Um, some of my classmates actually were thinking about making the drive up there. I'm in a master's program. So some of them were thinking about coming up there, but I try not to think about who's in the crowd or whatever. Like my friends and family will tell you I'm like not nice fight week. I'm just like, look, this shit's yeah, you've known about it for months. The information's out there. Like, leave me the fuck alone. That's
Yeah.
generally my stance when it comes to all that.
Everybody texts you on fight day. What time do you fight? Any tickets left?
Yeah, I'm like, not motherfucker, leave me alone. Like, I don't respond to text fight day. There's like 5 people outside of my team that can reach me. Um, or they might reach me. There's 5 people that I'll respond to. I just don't allocate the mental space for that. I can't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's understandable. What do you think is a common misconception that people have about fighters that isn't true?
I think that they think we're all like just mean and brutish, which is like true to a sense, but we're really not. Like if you see us out on the street, yes, we're willing to take it there, but that's not our that's not our end goal ever. And I tell people all the time, bro, I get paid thousands of dollars to fight. Like I'm not gonna fight you for free. And it's not even fun for me fighting like a normal person. Like it goes one of two ways. Like I recognize the skill difference and I'm just like playing with you the whole time, or I'm gonna try and end your life. Like that's it. There's no in between when I fight, you know?
Yeah. Do you remember the first time you ever fought? Like first time you ever swung at someone and landed, whether it be, out of anger or out of just an actual
Oh,
competition?
yeah, I was like 5. Yeah, like growing up, my brother and I, like we're very different people. And he's an antagonizer, man. He loves screwing with people. So there was these kids across the street, and I'm always like try to be friendly. I'm trying to be cordial all the time, and I don't know. I thought there were these kids across the street. My brother's like, no, they want to fight, and I'm like, no, they don't. Like we're not doing that, and he somehow or another it got there and we just started throwing down and growing up like people always knew like it took a lot to get me to that point, but once I got to that point, like get away. And as I grew older and older, it's just like there's like conversational boundaries I'll just put up, like, oh hey, like you're engaging in this behavior, I don't find it pleasant, please stop, or like violence is going to ensue. And
Yeah.
people would always test that, and then we're shocked when violence ensued, you
Yeah.
know?
Like, oh, he's telling the truth.
Yeah,
What's something that you think like is the hardest part of being a fighter? Because you're not really going through the weight cut right now, at least, I'm assuming. So
right.
that's usually the go-to answer when I ask that question. But what do you think is the hardest part about this lifestyle?
I mean, it can be very lonely. That the social component, the social emotional component of that can be very hard. I mean, every fight I've ever lost has been like girl problems. Even down to the UFC, it's just one of those things where it's like I compartmentalize my life in such a way because I'm always doing something, and I try to make all those things complement each other. So I was, every camp or whatever. Like if I'm dating someone, I'm like, look, these are the do's, these are the do nots. If you have an issue this so far out within this time frame, like you gotta put that shit in a notebook and we can address it later, or like whatever. But during this camp, like it's about me. So it's a selfish time. Like I have to be at my best because this person is trying to harm me. Right. And in my contract, like if I die, I die. So like that you have got to understand that as a partner, and that can be very hard because you're not going to be equally yoked during that time, and that's something that's really important for any relationship, friendships as well. You know, it's that hey, no, I can't go out and drink with you till 2 a.m. Like I can, if I'm there, I won't be drinking. Like or so many weeks out, like hey, it's maybe two or three drinks, but that like so it's the saying no to all those things. You feel like you're letting people down. That can be very lonely and isolating. Um, and then the other part that I would say would be equally as hard is just that compartmentalization, like not knowing when to say no and or not knowing the behaviors that you have to cut out that are gonna complement or be a detriment to what it is you're trying to do. You have to always keep in mind the goal. And my goal is to get here and perform in this way. Okay, well, I know what I have to do to do that. And thinking about every action in that way is this conducive to what I'm trying to do and who I'm trying to become.
Yeah, that makes sense. Totally. I like to ask a couple non-fight related fun questions here. So get ready for these weird ones. Well, they're not weird, I guess, but are you binge watching anything right now, or what are you binge watching?
Oh man. Okay, so during the fight camp, I always try to binge watch all the seasons of Spartacus. Spartacus and Sons of Anarchy are like my go-tos during it.
Okay, what about when you're out of fight camp? Is there something like a guilty pleasure that you like to watch? Maybe something you're embarrassed to say you watch, like
Okay,
Kardashians or something.
all right. So like a guilty pleasure. There's two of them. The Originals. It's a spinoff of the Vampire Diaries, one of my all-time favorite shows. Disney's always on my playlist. Like I'm always watching Disney movies, and then rom-coms and like hardcore romantic dramas. Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, mine too. I love those. I can't wait for that weird. I don't know if you've seen it, the one with Amy Schumer where she's pretending she's pregnant.
I
That's
don't
coming out on Wednesday.
I don't find Amy Schumer entertaining. Like she's had
No,
two that have been like good to me. The rest, like now that I do stand up comedy, like I just
that's true.
prior to it I didn't find her stuff funny, but like even like more so now.
Who do you find fun? Like who's your comedic idol? Who do you think is like the funniest stand-up?
Man, Patrice O'Neal was like my all-time favorite. Loved Richard Pryor. Currently, obviously there's your Dave Chappelle's, your Bill Burr's. Josh Johnson is amazing. And then there's some comedians out here in Albuquerque that I just find hilarious. So there's a lot of those, like Josh Fournier would be one of those. Tyler Lovely is another local comic I find hilarious. Sarah Kennedy's stuff is amazing. Steph Darnell, great guy. Then you have your Black Mikes, Jake Otero, AJ De Leon, Cardo Mad, Zaka Beta, like a lot of those local people out here I find hilarious. Even though I've heard their stuff multiple times, it still cracks me up every time I hear it.
What's the scariest part about being a stand-up comic?
Again, that would probably be the social aspect. So like any group, you kind of gravitate towards like-minded individuals, and there's a really big trap that people can fall into by surrounding themselves with only like-minded individuals. Everyone likes to think that they're open-minded, but that's typically only the people that they have a prior understanding or prior relationship with that are like-minded, and you really put yourself at risk of being in an echo chamber. So all the time, it's like I'm thinking we're being unserious or joking around, and then someone will just instantly take something way too seriously. And I understand I'm not going to discredit their experience, their trauma, whatever, but the end of the day, like, bro, if you go to a stand-up comedy show and like you're going to get offended, like you're in the wrong there. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. That's the point. That's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wowould ask what your favorite cheat meal is, but I guess you're not going to have a cheat meal this time. But what's like the thing that's like your treat, like the one thing you really that's like an indulgence that you like to eat?
Oh man, everything. I'm a heavyweight, but no, the best thing, and I'm gonna catch some flack for this, but it's this thing is called dirty fries. And basically, you put cheese curds, fries, some type of signature sauce in there. I love putting chili and cheese on it as well. And all the fixings on the top. You get your avocados, your onions, diced onions, tomatoes, all that stuff. And then you top it off with two fried eggs. That is
What?
my
Oh,
yeah.
you ruined it.
I love putting a fried egg on stuff, man. Especially now with like egg prices the way they are. If you can
Yeah,
afford to put fried eggs on it, you're really stunting on people.
that's a luxury.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you know, yes, I'm better than you. I can afford eggs, okay?
What did you want to be when you were a kid? Like when you thought about what you wanted to be when you grew up?
Oh, it's embarrassing. I always wanted to be a pimp, man. Like, I always wanted to be a pimp. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Then as I got older and older, I wanted to be like, this is a really weird stage of my life, but for like 10 years, I wanted to just drop everything and just walk the earth and be like a modern day Jesus. Like that's really what I always wanted, just spreading my philosophies and going out doing random good deeds. That's what I always wanted to do.
So when you say you want to be a pimp, did you want to just like dress like a pimp and act like a pimp, or did you really want to like actually like
See, I didn't know what a pimp was
yeah,
when I
see, that's
wanted
what
to
I
be a
thought.
pimp.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wanted to dress like one, act like we always have like gorgeous women around me. And then I found out like what a pimp actually was when I was like 12, and I was like, oh, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
So that's when I went like so yeah, like 12 to about 22. I just wanted to walk the earth and be Jesus, but never worked. And then like pro athlete was my first dream. And then I like once I knew the numbers behind that, I was like, all right, my more realistic dream is to be a pimp. And then I found out what a pimp was. And then I'm like, all right, well, screw realism. One day I'm gonna just get just walk around, not worry about money and just, do cool shit.
And then you ended up being a teacher of all things.
Yeah, right. I'm a teacher now, and I'm on the. These kids try me, man. I've never wanted to hit a human more than being a teacher.
Is high school worse?
No,
Really? I would always think high school would be worse.
no, high school because at that point, developmentally, most kids understand like consequence. So even like when they get super out of pocket, they're understanding of the consequence. Middle schoolers want to be grown without any of the consequences. So they want to talk shit. They want to do all this. They want to live a certain way. And when you call them out on it, the first thing they want to do is like, man, they lie so much more than high schoolers. They'll go to their parents and be like, oh no, the teacher just cussed me out for no reason or whatever. Like with a high schooler, I can be like, hey, you're being a fucking idiot right now. You need to cut the shit. And they'll cut it out. But middle schoolers, I do not enjoy teaching that. And also like the other aspect of it is the adults in those fields, like typically what you see is most teachers go to their area of like stunted development. So teaching in middle school is so clicky. It's like, the movie Mean Girls?
Yes,
It's it's like that, but all the cliques are with the teachers. It's really weird.
that's hilarious. So I got one last one for you. If you had Like, well, I guess what's like the thing that you collect? Like everybody has like a thing that they're really into. Maybe not collect is the right word, but like what's your like weird thing that you do? Like I don't I
Uh,
try to think of an example.
Fire is like lighters, man. I love
Oh,
burning stuff. I love burning things. It's really weird. Yeah,
very weird.
and like I really don't smoke. I just like I'll have a cigarette every now and then, but yeah, I just like lighters, man. I like lighters. I like setting stuff on fire. I like the ability, like if I'm ever stranded, having a lighter is just such a relief. You know what I mean?
Is that why you have a fire extinguisher right behind you?
Nah, this is like this standard in every apartment at the gym. We all have fire extinguishers. So.
They're like, give him the one with the fire extinguisher. He likes to see things on fire. What's the weirdest thing you've lit on fire?
Hmm. Pretty much anything you could think of. I've never lit a human on
I was
fire
just gonna say.
for legal purposes. I have to say that. But no, we use fire for a lot. Down in Texas, we used to have these. There was a season where like these caterpillars would make these really big like web nests everywhere, so we would burn those down. I always thought that was weird. I lit a wasp nest on fire one time. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, that's really about it.
That's a great way to end it. So you're gonna light your opponent on fire, metaphorically, not figuratively.
Yeah, hopefully I'll light them up, you know.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It was good talking to you.
No problem. Have a good one,
Bye.
man.